Semantic curvature describes what happens when attention and interpretation do not distribute evenly across semantic space. Some regions attract repeated attention, reinforcement, and recognition. Other regions remain sparse, unstable, or weakly held. As this imbalance grows, semantic space stops behaving like a flat field. It bends. Semantic curvature names that bending. It does not refer to metaphor, style, or rhetorical intensity. It describes a structural deformation of interpretive space produced by uneven flows of attention and interpretation. Underlying substrate: attention, interpretation, flow. The basic substrate of a semantic environment is not static representation, it is circulation. Attention moves towards signals, events, texts, or structures. Interpretation reconstructs meaning around them and then redirects attention again. This produces a continuous loop: attention to interpretation to redistribution to new attention. Meaning does not persist only because it is stored. It persists because attention continues moving through particular regions of semantic space. Density formation. Attention does not distribute evenly. When many interpretive processes repeatedly converge on the same semantic region, density rises. When little attention or interpretation gathers there, density remains low. This means density does not come from a text alone. It comes from cumulative interpretive activity. Once density becomes uneven, the field begins to deform. Emergence of curvature. Semantic curvature emerges when interpretive density becomes structurally uneven. High-density regions compress semantic distance and increase interpretive stability. Low-density regions expand semantic distance and increase instability. The result is a field in which signals no longer travel neutrally. Conceptually, attention to interpretation flow to density distribution to semantic curvature. Curvature, therefore, does not originate inside a single text. It emerges from collective interpretive movement across the field. Curvature dynamics. Once curvature forms, it does not remain static. It tends to move through several processes. Accumulation, repeated reinforcement increases curvature. Propagation, gradients redirect attention toward denser regions. Amplification, dense regions attract even more interpretation. Release or collapse, excessive curvature may produce rapid consolidation or breakdown. Curvature is therefore not just shape, it is an active condition that changes how interpretation moves. Stabilization effects. Curvature becomes more stable when recognition repeatedly confirms the same interpretive configuration. Recognition works as a feedback mechanism. Recognition to reinforcement to stabilization. This helps explain why some meanings, frameworks, or narratives persist even after the original signal weakens or disappears. What remains is not only the text, what remains is the stabilized curvature around it. Redistribution and dissipation. Curvature is not always permanent. It can be redistributed through interpretive competition, alternative framings, external attention shifts, local reinterpretation. And it can dissipate when attention gradually withdraws. As curvature dissipates, the field moves toward a lower energy condition, a semantic ground state, where interpretive pressure weakens and sustained attraction declines. Structural consequence. Semantic curvature helps describe many phenomena that are often treated separately, such as narrative dominance, ideological consolidation, viral spread, conceptual drift, interpretive conflict. Rather than treating each of these as isolated effects, semantic curvature describes them as consequences of how attention and interpretation reshape the geometry of semantic space. Naming declaration. The semantic curvature concept originates within the meta-writing ecology as a structural description of how uneven distributions of attention and interpretation deform semantic space. It is not derived from differential geometry, general relativity, network centrality theory, or information theoretic curvature models. even though it shares certain geometric language with those fields. Within this framework, curvature does not refer to metaphorical tension, stylistic complexity, or rhetorical emphasis. It describes the structural deformation of semantic space produced by asymmetrical flows of attention and interpretation. Semantic curvature therefore functions as a geometric descriptor of interpretive environments rather than a property of individual text alone. This overview does not present a single predictive model. It provides the structural background through which curvature emerges, stabilizes, redistributes, and dissipates across semantic fields.